Burp Suite Intruder has a mode of operation called cluster bomb that takes multiple lists of input and sends in all possible combinations of that input. We'll use the login page to demonstrate. First, we create a baseline request so that we have a valid request to compare against the responses that can come back against our test values. This doesn't need to be a valid login. It doesn't even need to be a login page that you're testing. We're just using the login page for demonstration purposes. When we go over to Intruder, go to the proxy and HTTP history and find our sample request. It'll be the last one, so we go to the bottom of the list, highlight it, and send to Intruder. On positions, we notice that Burp has already pre-selected all of the possible input fields. We're only interested in the username and password field for this particular demonstration, but you can use as many fields as you want. We'll clear out the markers and then manually add the username and password field. One of the things to notice about the cluster bomb attack is because it is using all possible combinations of all the values on all the lists into all the fields. The number of combination gets out of hand very quickly. Here we're only going to use 2 fields, and we're going to keep the list short in order to minimize the number of tests. We change the attack type to cluster bomb, and we go to the payloads tab with our 2 fields marked. We'll notice that there's going to be 2 payload sets. In the first payload set, we're going to put usernames. And we're only going to use 3, again, to keep the number of combinations small. In the second payload set, we'll put passwords. So we have 3 values in the first payload set, 2 values in the second payload set, and those respective payload sets are assigned to our positions over in the request. So in the first position, we'll go the first payload set, and in the second position, we'll go the values from the second payload set. And we'll try all possible combinations. So if we go back and look at our payload sets, that means that we're going to try each username with each password in this particular example. We'll start the attack and look at the results. We're going to get back 6 results plus the baseline for a total of 7 because we had 3 usernames times 2 passwords. We notice that Burp tries each username with each password. As it turns out, one of the username password combinations happened to be correct, so for that particular request, we got a valid login response with the set cookies. But this was incidental to the demonstration. The demonstration shows us how the cluster bomb works and how it can take all the values from each set for each field and try all possible combinations. And this is quite useful when you're trying to do regression testing or security testing. And with the Pro version, the intruder will not be throttled, so it's possible to try a tremendous number of combinations. With the free version, you can still accomplish all your tests. Just break them up into smaller sets so that you don't run into the time throttled limitations of the free tool.